Hello shareholders, and tomorrow night's show leads on us trying to get an ordinary hunting rifle, a Mauser M18 from one of our sponsors, to shoot a bullet accurately out to 1,000 meters, and then to get another slightly less but still pretty ordinary hunting rifle, a Mauser M12 Impact, to do the same at 1,500 meters. The whole film is shot by Andy Chasney, who comes to us after working as a freelance for the BBC Natural History Unit, showing there are shooters at the BBC. To add to the drama, as we tried to get the bullets to hit the target, he increased the time using some TV magic during the edit that it took for the bullet to leave the rifle and for the clang as it hit the steel target to come back to us. Now imagine the fury of British shooters as they realised that it took longer and longer for a 6.5 by 55 to travel 1,000 and then 1,500 metres, and then for the sound to travel back from that. So we asked them to rejig it, and the sound and the time it takes to get back to you is now actually real in tomorrow night's show. You may have seen Andy taking part in part 2 of our podcast, which with part 1 was out last week. Thanks to Aaron Jones for putting that together for us. We filmed it at the Braces Day, at the Mauser, Blaser, Zauer, Minox Skills Day at Braces of Bristol last weekend. And it included a couple of Q&As from shareholders. I've put the links to get to those on the YouTube film in the description of this video, in the email we're sending out as well. Have a look and let me know if that format works for you as a Q&A. Now, issues. Andre Crosland, shareholder, contacts me about plastic wads, and I've heard a couple of other people talking about plastic wads in the last few weeks. What do you think about plastic wads? Let me know and we'll work out a way of treating this one. It's controversial. On one hand you've got people saying they're good for accuracy, on the other hand people saying they're litter. Next, Crowdcube. I had a long chat to Aaron Jones, who as well as working for Field Sports Channel is also a shareholder. He went back to a vlog a couple of weeks ago and then rang me up saying, what is this Crowdcube thing? He said he went on Crowdcube, he couldn't find us listed. Also shareholder Simon Jeffries, who doesn't watch this vlog, got in touch to ask why we've changed the buy shares page to register your interest. So please indulge me while I run through the whole Crowdcube thing for you from start to finish. The DPO is a direct public offering. It's a nice gentle way of making the films that our sponsors don't pay us to make. So they pay us to make the deer stalking and the pheasant shooting and the pigeon shooting and the fox shooting films. It's the fox hunting, the falconries and the ferretings that we want to cover and look at how we can make a commercial return from them, because we are a company. Now, we've issued 300,000 shares. David and I, who are the founders, are hanging on to about 40% of those to keep us keen, and the other 60% of those are for sale, no time limit, and we've sold 3,600 of them so far. The Crowdcube part of this covers the concerns of people who want to see a lot more shares sold. On Crowdcube we're going to sell 30,000 shares starting in mid-July, running for a few weeks, and there is a time limit on this particular part of the raise, but it's part of the DPO. Investors on the crowdfunding website Crowdcube click to show their interest in buying shares in Field Sports Channel, but the money doesn't actually leave their accounts until the end of this sort of selling period, and then it all leaves in a rush. And if we haven't achieved £300,000 worth of commitments, 30,000 shares at £10 each, then no money changes hands. That's because we're being more specific about what we use the money for, that is to restart Airheads, Clay Sports and Fishing Britain. As far as Crowdcube's concerned, if we don't raise the money then we can't do that. We can't hire the staff to do those things, so the raise, as far as they're concerned, has failed. I'll come back to whether it really is or isn't a failure in a minute, but my job at the moment is to go around and get as many people registering on Crowdcube as possible so that that part of the raise goes smoothly and quickly. Why did we choose Crowdcube? There are only actually 2 crowdfunding websites in the UK that are covered by the Financial Conduct Authority, and we wanted to go with one of them because it gives us a little bit of an extra regulatory cloak. We chose Crowdcube only because I happen to live quite near Exeter and they're based in Exeter. And this could all fail before we get started. Crowdcube could actually still turn us down as an investment prospect on their website, so we still have that bridge to cross. And if they say no, we'll flounce off to Cedars. Are the shares the same on Crowdcube as the ones you bought? Yes, they are. same price, same number of voting rights and same amount of hats and t-shirts if you buy lots of them. Does it matter if the Crowdcube raise does not actually work? Well, I say no, because first of all we'll end up with the extra bit of regulation, which we could do with, and secondly, the people from our world who are going to invest in us are going to invest in us anyway, whether or not they do it through Crowdcube. And one thing I noticed about being the PLC, which all of you have invested in, is we become something of a carcass off which lawyers feel they can tear strips, which I resent. I actually had one guy look at me straight in the eyes and say, "How much money can you lay your hands on right now?" No, thank you. Is there a wider strategy? Yes, there is. The Crowdcube raise is going to speed things up a bit, but we really do want to get those extra subject areas going, like airheads and clay sports. We started them already. They just need staff to get them moving. We want to get the special interest subjects going. Next, after that, we want to get the geographical areas going. So the Field Sports Canada, Field Sports Australia project comes after that. And last of all, my ambition is to do something like what Top Gear did, which is to go from being a car show into being a lifestyle show. Now, we can't do that if we lose our credibility. I don't want to stop being Field Sports Channel. I don't want to stop Field Sports Britain from being Field Sports Britain, but we are able to do that kind of thing and step up a bit in terms of audience. So it's a good thing to do. Take it from me. So how's the raise going? Well, last week I met a friend of Rupert Murdoch, and he's looking at investing in 1,000 shares. So we're going to be keeping interesting company. I also met the boss of one of our sponsor companies who wants to take 5,000 shares. And most peculiar meeting of the week, I met a shadowy former intelligence officer who's thinking of taking 15,000 shares. So not sure the last one will come off, but it was an interesting meeting. First two, a little bit more confident about. And really good work by those of you who are introducing me to people like this. Anybody who's got a friend who would like to invest in Field Sports Channel, please let me know or ask them to sign up fieldsportschannel.tv/shares. And finally, a date for your diary. We have a shareholder meeting arranged, 4:30 p.m. on Saturday the 28th of July at the Game Fair Theatre at the Game Fair at Ragley Hall in Warwickshire. I and whoever else is around will be there. All are welcome, even non-shareholders, and if we have to do any voting we can do it afterwards by email. This weekend I'm at the Irish Game Fair at Shane's Castle in County Antrim. If you're in Ireland, I will see you there. If not, I'll see you next week.